Sithole, a licensed professional counselor here in Frisco, Texas, and the owner and founder of Inside Fitness, professional counseling and life coaching. Hope everybody is having a great day so far and still hanging in, because it's been a very different 2 weeks from the norm, because a lot has been unfolding and our lives have been disrupted. And I hope that we're all just hanging in there. However, my office, we posted something yesterday in regards to the prevalent emotions that are being experienced right now. And we did notice that it was fear. Fear is what I'm hearing a lot. And even through the sessions we've been conducting over the past few weeks, it's the fear of the unknown. Now, fear tends to manifest itself as anger, anxiety, high stress, and eventually, if we're in a chronic space, which means if we experience it for a long time, it ends up in depression. So all these are common emotions that we ought to be experiencing right now. And I believe all of us, including myself, have gone through that and have experienced them. However, there is ways on how to deal with that so that we don't get to the chronic stage where we get to depression. The first thing that is really affecting us and causing us this fear is uncertainty. When we are uncertain about outcome and what's going to happen, it creates a lot of fear in the individual. So the first thing we got to do is we gotta acknowledge that I'm afraid, and we have to identify the second part. What am I really afraid of? And once we identify those fears of what we're really afraid of, they give us an opportunity to explore those different aspects and try to inject some truth in it. And sometimes fear is debunked with information. If I come in there and I put information, is this realistic? I'm afraid that this is going to be a doomsday thing. I'm afraid we'll never recover. How practical is that? And then what I'll do is I'll go to information and look at past generations, how they've handled these things. And then it shows me that the human race can rebound, and sometimes the information coming from what the scientists and all the world leaders are doing to combat this coronavirus. And that would kind of give us some sense of hope and calm. But also at the same time, we got to look at and figure out the big issue that we're having now is an overload of information. We got to control the information that's coming in. We got to cut off the news, get off social media sometimes, and limit the amount of information that we're getting in. Because a lot of information can create fear and uncertainty, because sometimes the news cycle is geared towards selling news. What I normally do is I read the news from trusted sources that I can just go and form my own opinion, and it's not based on a pundit's perspective or what a certain news network is trying to peddle out there. So I would limit the times I listen to the news, maybe in the morning and in the evening. Just listen to headlines, read it online if you may. And also a third thing I would do is what we call reframing. In psychology, reframing is changing your perspective about something before, if you can't change it. Like in this moment, yes, it looks like we're stuck at home, our lives have been disrupted, we don't know what's going to happen with the economy, and what we got to do is we got to take time to reframe. Hey, it's time to get in touch with myself emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Time to reconnect with my family as well, and time to reconnect with my friends too. So that is what needs to happen at this time. It's called reframing. And then also another thing, I know there's some of us who've lost work that may not be recovered. And they also business owners were worried, what's my business gonna look like after this? And I'm in that boat too. We're all trying to navigate these waters and come out on top. When we get into that situation, sometimes we can only need to worry about what we can change today. What can I do? Because those jobs, some may not come back. Some industries may be destroyed. but there are industries that are gonna be hiring. There are some jobs like Uber that we can get into, delivering fast food right now, delivering. We can do that to try to get the income in. And for us business owners, let's look at the resources that are being provided. Let's talk to our city fathers. Let's look at the website, Chamber of Commerce's. Let's look at what the SBA is offering. So I would shift my focus from worrying about the problem and shift it towards solutions. And sometimes we need to talk to somebody else, because the mind that walks into the problem does not have the capability of resolving that problem. So we might need to find somebody else who can help us with that problem and help us think deeper and help go deeper in it and come up with different solutions. Because if I'm stuck in a problem, sometimes I'm just focused on that problem and I'm not able to think about it. And also, let's put in some social time, some exercises to remind ourselves of fun. Because as emotions rise and the more we feel out of control and alone and don't know what the future is going to be like, it's causing a lot of conflict. I just recently heard a statistic here in Texas that the child abuse cases have gone high that have been reported in, because sometimes we're at home, closed, confined areas. People are frustrated about a lot of things, not working, money is becoming an issue, not finding food. All these things here, yes, they are guaranteed, but let's take time to control our emotions. Let's put in some exercise. Let's sleep right. Let's still invest in fun. There's some things we can still do. Take walks, invest in our family, talk to our kids, because our kids are afraid right now. Because their lives have changed, their things have changed, and we need to take time to talk to children and explain this virus in a way that they themselves can understand and answer their questions. Let's make time every day to talk to them and ask out, because children deal with crisis different from adults, because children act out. They scream and they do things that are really, that come out as bad behavior to us adults, but really what they're telling you is, I'm afraid. So my job as a parent, as an adult, is to quench the fears that children have. I know there's a lot out there. We're all afraid. We don't know where this is not going to end. But like previous generations, we're putting our best foot forward. I've talked to a few doctors. I've actually been in contact with somebody who's been talking to the CDC, and we're in this together. We're going to be okay. And they assured me that the greatest minds in the world are actually behind us, and they're working to come up with a cure. I know our lives have been disrupted temporarily, but what I've noticed that any time when there's a disruption in life, it's setting us up for better days ahead. It might be a little bit of a turbulent moment, but let's reconnect to what matters, which is us, love for our friends, our families, our fellow human beings, and know that we are in this together. And if we unite and walk in this together, we're going to come out together. And once again, I'm Owner Sithole, licensed professional counselor supervisor out here in Frisco, Texas. And I'm the founder of owner of Inside Fitness, professional counseling and life coaching. And you will be hearing a lot from us, myself or my team, as we continue to walk through this, because we're in this together. And right now, the fear that we experience is just a transitional moment. It's gonna get by. Soon we'll return to the emotion of love. I hope everybody has a nice day and try to make the best of this situation. We will be fine. It's gonna be okay. Love always wins over fear. Have a good one.